Morning. Good.
That's what I told him if I do.
Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
All this right here.
So I've been on outside on white targets.
Yep, so it's not just a sight light, it's a pressure sensor. That's what the numbers are. So there's two LEDs in there. There's a green one when you're at your optimum and you're red if you're too hard. The green goes off if you creep up. So what you do is you calibrate it, you shoot your bow, and then, when you'll say fire shot, and it'll save what you shot at, whatever you fired at. And then it will turn the green light on at that point every time.
Okay.
So then it tells you if you over pull, under pull. 2010, we got married, got a house, and told my wife that I wanted to make a go at being a pro. So I went to Lancaster. I went to that was my first indoor professional shoot.
Nobody's perfect, and we're all striving to be perfect. So, and in this game,
made the shoot off, and Jesse made me go home with my tail tucked. But
if you're not shooting a 149 or a 150, you're getting left in the dust. So
everybody is striving after excellence and being able to hit the middle every time.
So any little thing out there that's going to help you, whether it be something in your form that you change or a device like this that's going to help you be more consistent, I'm all about that.
This is your main focus right here. The viewers right here. Everyone you're talking to is right there. So
I'm Donnie Thacker with Pressure Perfect Products. I'm here to introduce to you the SweetSpot and show you how to install it. When you open the box the first time...
SweetSpot is a device that basically makes you a more consistent archer.
So it works a lot like a weight scale, and you stand on it. Once you've zeroed it, it tells you how much you weigh. You get off, get back on. So you're at the same point every time unless you change weight. So that's what we're doing with the bow. We're measuring the front of the bow, the flex that when you draw the bow that is put on the riser.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions. They first want to know what the heck it is. What is that box? Everyone thinks it's, just a sight light or something. And
My radar detector.
So do you just use it for the mapping, or do you have that light in there now?
I have the lights on there now, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of just makeshift in there. So you got a red light over here and a green light there.
So it turns on when you draw back then?
So green light's the shoot light, red light's too hard, and lights will go off if you're not pulling hard enough.
once you start explaining it to them, they don't say a word. They're just kind of sitting there, kind of dumbfounded, because they never thought that, and I never would have thought of using something like this. Using a gauge that actually measures the deflection of the riser. I didn't even know they had anything that measured deflection at this minute of a scale.
Put it on certain people and they know it's working, it'll go.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's what Jesse. Yeah.
Right person.
Yeah. Jesse, last night we was practicing, and he said he was sitting there aiming, and he said the green light went off and he dipped, and then he pulled back and hit in the middle. He said I would have had a dip bang, He's like, it told me when I was leaking pressure.
You can actually see it at full draw then.
Yeah, so at full draw there's a little card and it's got 2 lights on it, little bitty LEDs, a green one and a red one. So the green one tells you your optimal pressure. So if you creep up, the green goes off. If you're back, you're in your green. If you pull too hard, the red one comes on. And you can set that tolerance to them lights to come on whenever you want.
Oh.
So it's just helping you do the same thing over and over.
Mine would look like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. Well, you can broaden it, because that's what I was afraid of, especially at a tournament.
Yeah.
But like I had it on there at Foley, and when Tim hit that 14, oh my, it was flickering, and I let down. And if I would have made that shot, I probably wouldn't have won.
He didn't tell me much. He told me how to, put it on there, what to do and everything, and how to calibrate it. And he said, just let me know what you think of it. And I did that, and I started just having brainstorms of, we can do this with it, we can do that with it. I'm like, it needs to have a shot timer on there to where everyone has, kind of a sweet spot. I thought it'd be a cool idea to have a shot counter just to let you know how many shots, you fired. What I haven't used it much for yet, but I'm going to here soon, is shooting up and down hills. And that's where there's usually a really big variance in your pressures that you are firing your shot at, because some of the Pro Series events and field events and stuff like that, you're at really extreme angles up and downhill, and it's really, really hard to keep the same pressure, especially shooting uphill. You feel like you are pulling as hard as you can pull, and then all of a sudden you creep and come off the wall, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not pulling as hard, as hard as I need to.
That's probably the best autograph I've seen so far, besides Kendall Woody. Where's Kendall Woody? If you get his signature, he writes like neater than I don't know what.
I don't know where Kendall is. I tried looking for him.
It's got right there, big orange shirt over there.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I could tell by the end of it.
Where it drops off,
Are they selling them yet?
they're going to start selling them tomorrow.
How much are they running for?
So if you do it without the Wi-Fi, it'll be $2.99, and if you do it with the Wi-Fi and the shot timer, because it's got a shot timer, you can set, it'll flash twice if you overhold, and you can change it whatever length you want. But for that and the Wi-Fi, and then it's going to be $4.29.
Once you go through and explain all the benefits and all the features and everything, they want one. They want one right away, and it's a pretty cool thing because I know that it's going to help a lot of people, and from beginners and bow hunters and everything, it's going to help them be a better shot, a more ethical hunter. It's going to help kids, not get as. It's going to help them do better right off the bat and get them involved quicker so they don't get discouraged. So.
How's that work exactly?
So what it is, it's strain gauges, and they're mounted on the front of your riser. So I'll show you right here. All right, see the green light?
Okay.
So I'm good. If I pull too hard, it's red. If I creep up, it goes off.
Okay.
So that way you're shooting the same point, and you just keep tightening that down. Wow. So I think it'll help, because you can make it wide. It's like, the reason I thought of it, I'd have people come over to my house, and kids, and one time they're all the way back, next time they're off the stops, and they hit up here and down here and up here. So if you can get them to shoot from the same point every time.
That's very cool. And that's your project, right?
Yeah, I got a patent on it, and Lancaster's going to release it tomorrow. So.
Tomorrow?
Yep. And so we'll start pre-orders tomorrow, and then we'll start shipping them out, at the end of May.
And it's legal in...
It's legal. It's not legal in World Archery and USA Archery, but we're getting it so that you can leave the sensor. The sensor plugs in with a micro USB just like that, so you can unplug it and leave it on your bow. So use it as training aid. So you use repetition over and over, same shot.
In the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical. I'm like, I don't know if it's something that I'll use, but it for beginners for sure they'll use it. But now it's like anywhere from first shot of the bow to top archers in the world are going to get a benefit from using it.
I took it to Jesse and told him my idea and asked for his advice and what he thought, and if this is something that could really help people, and it's just developed from there, and got him one, and he tried it and liked it, and I think he even set his draw length with it.
Practicing for the Lancaster Archery Classic this year, and was playing around with draw length, an eighth of an inch here, eighth of an inch there. I felt like I couldn't, get it dialed in correctly. I was testing the SweetSpot with Donnie, and put it on there, and I told him I think I can use it to set my draw length properly. I think it's gonna go, if I can go back through and look at the charts and pick out the most consistent one when I make changes, I think that's gonna be my correct draw length. I went a 1/4 inch each way from where I was, and I found out from where I was shooting it to where I ended up was about 1/8 of an inch longer. And then went into the Lancaster Archery Classic, and shot a 6:59 qualification round. So it definitely, I think it was the right move there, and I've stuck with that draw length. I've tweaked it back and forth, because you always question yourself, but I always keep going back to that draw length. So it's nice to be able to have something that basically tells you that's the right draw length to shoot, rather than guessing if that's the right draw length.
Yeah, so ever since I started shooting in competition, when you get super nervous, you lose the feeling in your hands. You lose the feel. What everybody looks for is a feel of a good shot. When I finally made it, to the pro level, the ASA in Foley, I was in the shoot-off, and I've been to the shoot-off several times and haven't ever clinched a win. It seems like, I get right there, and then, I'll make a bad shot, or I'll lose that feel. I get so nervous I lose that feel. In Foley, I had this on my bow, and I was shooting against Tim Gillingham, and we went 8 arrows. I went from 8 points behind, and it gave me such a confidence to know I was going to hit behind my pin that even in the lighting conditions we couldn't see well and it was raining, I was able to trust my shot and just aim and shoot. And then I caught up with him. He hits the 14 in the rain. I mean, that's crazy. That was an amazing shot. And so then the nerves hit me, and I feel like without the SweetSpot on my bow that I could have lost the tournament right there. But having it on there, I was able to make a good solid shot and hit a 10 on that turkey. And then I knew I had what it took, to make it from that point on. A lot of people ask about this being a distraction. So you're seeing lights going on in your side housing. And for me, it's kind of like looking at your bubble. You draw your bow back, you level your bubble, and then you aim. So that's all I was doing. I was drawing my bow back. When I leveled my bubble, I would also make sure my green light was on. So I had the optimal pressure, and then I just aimed. I didn't think. It took all that out of it. If I was wondering if I was far enough back, if I was pulling too hard, if I was going to make a good shot, I was able to just shoot my bow. And that's why I was able to shoot a 12 to win.